Hi, my name is Officer Scott Gingras, and I am the school resource officer here in Guilford. So I work for the Guilford Police Department. I am a real police officer, but I'm specifically assigned to the school system. So I work in the high school and as well as the middle and elementary schools. And I do a lot of different things, have a lot of different responsibilities at the school. Physical safety of the school is one thing, obviously, but then I also act as a mentor and a counselor and a guest speaker to students when needed, and then assist teachers with presentations, things of that nature. And so one of the things that I do, one of the topics that I cover as a guest speaker is internet safety. And so I talk about internet safety with the elementary school students all the way up to the high school students. Internet safety is a really, really important topic. We have a lot of issues in the schools with kids that stem from social media and the internet. So it's definitely something that we like to talk about. So kids are aware of the dangers and just things to keep in mind when they are using social media or using the internet. So today I'm going to go over a presentation that is one that I would be giving to middle or high school aged students here in Guilford, one that I've used in the past, and so hopefully you'll learn something about internet safety. So like I said, I'm in the school system as the school resource officer, and this is the presentation I would give to middle or high school age students. So the first thing we talk about with the middle and high school age students is social media being like digital evidence, right? Or digital footprint is another way that you could put it. Essentially what that means is that anytime that we do anything online, there is going to be some kind of evidence of that thing. So, right, so if we post something and we delete it, that's great, but what if somebody screenshotted that post? What if someone took a picture of it or just saw the post, right? So there's really no way to take it back, even though we can delete things like posts and text messages. There's really, really no way to truly erase it from the internet and know that no one's ever going to see it, right? Because I could post something that I think is funny, and then a couple people take a screenshot of it, and then I say, yeah, you know what, I probably shouldn't have posted that, so I delete the post the next day. Well, within that one day of that post being up, how many people screenshotted it or shared it or sent it to another person, right? Or just saw it. So there's really, really, once you put something out there, it's really tough to take it back. Actually, it's impossible to take it back when it comes to the internet and social media. So we talk about this with the high school students. We talk about things that you post and how they can affect what colleges you can get into, what jobs you may be able to get. Because, you know, I tell the high school students this, you know, because they're kind of at the age where they're starting to think about college and think about jobs and all that. And, you know, if you post something, right, and then you apply to college, those college admissions staff are definitely looking through your social media. Those employers that you're applying to a job for are definitely looking through your social media. I know when I became a police officer, when I first was applying, I actually had to meet with the detective to do a background check, which is standard, obviously, as part of the process for becoming a police officer. But I actually had to give my cell phone, I had to unlock the phone and give it to a detective who was just looking through the phone, right? Looked at my messages, photos, social media accounts, everything on my phone to make sure there was nothing concerning or inappropriate, right? So, and I obviously a police officer is kind of that's a special position where they're going to be more scrutiny on your background and your social media and things like that. But certainly, even if you apply for a job at a company, a lot of times they're going to be searching you on Facebook, they're going to be searching you on Instagram, Googling your name. They're going to be looking on the internet to see what they find about you. So if you're posting inappropriate things on social media, that could very well, you know, affect your chances of getting a certain job or getting into a certain school because of something you could have posted years ago, but it's still out there. I always explain that there's a lot of high-profile people, politicians, people in the government that are, you know, losing their jobs or their credibility is being scrutinized because of the things they posted back in college, right? These are older adults now, 40, 50, 60 years old. but they're getting in trouble for things they posted, back when they were younger online, or photos that were taken of them, or comments that they made, or messages that they sent to people. So we really, really have to be careful. It's really easy to, right, the whole point of social media is that it's instant, right? So I take a picture of myself doing something cool or funny, and then I post it, and now everyone can see that. But we really, really have to consider when we're taking a picture of something, or posting something, or writing that text message, is this something that I would want everyone to see? Is this something that I would want my mom to see? Because very well, your mom might end up seeing that post, right? If it gets reported or shared, right? And then we have to talk to your parents about it. This is what I tell the high school students. And we have to talk to your parents about it. Your mom might see that post or that text that you're sending, right? So you really have to think about what you're putting out there before you do it, because it could affect things in your future. Another thing that we talk about with high school and middle school students is swatting. So if you're not sure what swatting is, this is kind of a newish term, but it's basically when you report a false incident to the police and it causes some kind of emergency response. And when I say false incident, I mean something serious. I don't mean you falsely report that your neighbor's dog is barking, but in fact the dog is not barking. Not like something like that. I mean something like, hi, I'm at Guilford High School and there's a guy with a gun inside the school and he's shooting people. Right? That is a serious false incident that's going to result in a large-scale emergency response. Because as soon as we get that call, somebody called the police department and reported that, of course, every single officer in Guilford, and even officers from surrounding towns, would be all converging on Guilford High School, thinking that there is a guy with a gun who's shooting people. And the whole idea with swatting is that people report these make these false reports as a hoax or a prank or a joke, and it causes a large-scale police response, right? And now we're wasting resources. People's lives are being put in danger. Not only police officers, but also other people, bystanders, who have nothing to do with the situation. Right now, everyone's life is being put in danger because we think that there's a person with a gun inside the school when in fact there's not. So when we do get reports like this, and this is just a news article from a couple years ago, and there were actually 18 swatting calls at schools around Connecticut in one day, which is a lot. And so Guilford was one of those schools, and we were able to confirm right away that there was no threat whatsoever and that it was a prank. But if we weren't able to determine that right away, then that could have been very bad for us, because we would have responded to the school like there was a person with a gun in the school when in fact there wasn't. So swatting is an issue. It's big in the video gaming community. People that are online gaming, maybe they don't like a certain person who they're playing with, and so they will call the police, the local police of where that person lives, right? Because a lot of times these gamers are sharing where they live and their names and things like that. And so if I don't like a certain person that I'm playing against, but I know who they are and where they live, I'm going to call the local police department where they live and report that they're holding somebody hostage inside their house. And then all of a sudden the police in that town or city, right, respond to that house and break in and break down the door because they think someone's being held hostage, when in fact it's just a kid playing video games inside his bedroom. So this is something that's an issue, so much so that they even changed the law. There was always a law about falsely reporting an incident, right? So if you call the police and falsely report an incident, that's always been illegal. But now they've changed the law to make it, if by making that false report you are eliciting a large-scale emergency response, then that is even a more serious charge now, because this has been such an issue. So just something to be aware of. This is something that happened a couple years ago. It was December 17th, I think 2021 was the year, and we had a message going around. This is actually the message, it's online on the news, so This is not anything that's private, this is public information. But we had this message going around among students within the Guilford Public Schools, mostly Guilford High School, and a little bit at the middle schools. But this message basically says that, attention everyone who goes to GHS, I'm not messing around, I'm so tired of the school, I'm so tired of the bullying, and on December 17th, I'm going to shoot up the school. So this is the message that's going around on social media, mostly Snapchat. And so people are seeing, right, they're seeing that it says GHS, and they're saying, oh, Guilford High School, and now everyone is panicking because everyone thinks that on December 17th, so this was going around on, I believe, the night before, so December 16th. So people in Guilford are seeing this message, kids are seeing the message, they're telling their parents, and everybody is panicking because they think that, oh my God, someone's coming to Guilford High School with a gun, they're gonna shoot up the school. So we, of course, got many calls about this on December 16th. We investigated it fully and determined that GHS does not stand for Guilford High School in this message. So as you can imagine, there are many GHSs in the United States, not just Guilford High School. There are actually just many in Connecticut, right? But this GHS in this post was actually in reference to another school, not even in Connecticut. So we were able to determine that pretty quickly, and we're able to determine that there was no threat to the Guilford community or any of the Guilford schools. But it still caused panic, right? So we had to have, even though we knew that this was a hoax, on December 17th, we still had to have extra police officers in all the schools. Many students didn't attend because they didn't feel safe doing so, right? Their parents kept them home. And then many were still traumatized after the fact, in the days after this incident. This just kind of shows the power of social media, right? How something that's not even true, not even in reference to Guilford, can be shared among our kids here in Guilford, and it causes such a panic where kids are afraid to go to school, right, on this day. And it didn't even have anything to do with Guilford, but it didn't matter, right? People just perceived and saw and believed that it did, and that was enough, right? So it just kind of shows the power of social media and how this could have been shared. This was shared among probably hundreds of kids around, not only here in Connecticut, but also in other states as well. And it did cause a big issue. So just something to be aware of. The next thing we're going to talk about is catfishing. So this is something that the high school kids are very familiar with, and the middle schoolers as well. But it's essentially pretending to be somebody who you're not online, right? So, which is very easy to do. It's very easy to make a profile and put fake information, a fake name, a fake picture that you found online, or you use a picture of yourself, but you use a filter to make yourself look differently. And then to go ahead and use that account to message people and things of that nature. So this is something that does happen, and people, a lot of times it's related to scams, right? So if I'm a scammer, I will make a fake profile. I'll make myself look like I'm maybe a high school aged kid, and then I'll message other high school aged kids and try and get personal information from them, or inappropriate photos or things of that nature. And then if I get the personal information, now I can use that to maybe commit identity theft. Or if I'm getting the inappropriate photos, now I can use those to try and get money from these kids, because I'll threaten to release the photos if they don't pay me a certain amount of money, right? So this is what the scammers are doing. And so you need to be really careful that even though someone's profile may look like, hey, this is another high school kid my age, they just live in the next town over, I think I might know them. Well, really, you don't know who you're talking to, right? Because anyone can just make a fake profile with fake photos and fake information and a fake name and pretend to be somebody they're not. So things that we tell the students to look for, signs of catfishing or a fake profile, might be the person wants to avoid calls and maybe FaceTiming, things of that nature, because they don't want to obviously show you what they look like truly or what they sound like. They have no online presence, so you try to Google their name and there's really no information that you can find on the internet, which is pretty rare. I mean, most people, if you Google their name, you're gonna find some kind of article or post that they were tagged in or something about them. But if the person has no online presence whatsoever, that's a little suspicious. They have very few friends or followers on their social media accounts because these people just keep making new accounts. They get reported, they get shut down or deactivated by whatever social media platform, and then they make a new account, right? So they're just trying to always make these new accounts and just try and follow and friend as many people as they can, and then message those people and try and get personal information from those people. So very recently created profile. Again, that kind of goes along with the fact that they're always trying to make new profiles because eventually they do get reported and their accounts do get deactivated, so they have to make another one. They're only using professional pictures or pictures that are clearly from the internet. They can't take a selfie in the moment and send it to you because, again, they don't want you to see who they really are. They have photos taken from other people's accounts. They're asking you for money, or they're asking you for pictures and videos, specifically inappropriate or explicit pictures or videos. And so we talk about you never send anyone who you don't know online inappropriate photos or videos. I mean, you really shouldn't send anyone at all inappropriate photos or videos of yourself, but especially not people that you don't know online, and certainly not any money or personal information. This is an example of this is a couple years ago now, from Adams Middle School. So a middle school student got this message, texted to them from a random number, and it says, "Hey, are you Madden? I'm Eliza. We matched on Bumble last time," which Bumble is a dating site. "When I came up to visit my relatives, but we never connected for coffee. I'm back in town if you want to meet up." And so the student, thankfully, instead of responding to any of this, just says, "Hey, wrong number." And then the person responds, did I just text some random guy? I'm so sorry." And then they send the person who was texting sent this photo, right? So it looks like a middle or high school aged female taking a picture of herself, right? So we have this photo, and then at about the same time, another student, totally unrelated student, received this message at about the same time that the first student received the first message. This second student received this message that says, "Hi, are you Jonah? It's Adeline. We messaged on Tagged last time." I think that's another dating site. "I went down to hang with my grandmother, but we didn't connect in real life. I'm back in town if you want to hang out." And then again, the student does the right thing and says, "No, sorry, you have the wrong number." And then she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I can be so stupid sometimes." And then again, the sender sends this same photo. So it's okay, is this Eliza or is this Adeline? I don't know, because apparently this is obviously it's neither one of those people. This is probably not this girl who's sending these messages, right? This is probably a scammer who got a photo from the internet or from social media and is now using it to pretend to be this girl, and to just try and get personal information from random middle school students. So if either of these students had actually continued with the conversation rather than just saying wrong number, they actually tried to continue the conversation, likely this person, I think, would have asked for personal information or money or inappropriate photos or something of that nature. Just an example of catfishing, right? So, this person is using this image to try and get information from just random numbers, and they'll probably keep texting, random phone numbers until they get some kind of information or money out of somebody, and then that makes it worth it to them, right? Even if it's 1 out of 1,000 people that actually respond and carry on the conversation and do give the money or give the personal information, that's really what they're just looking for. So we're going to move on to sexting now, which is definitely an important topic that we talk about with the high school students mostly. So sexting is simply when you're sending sexually inappropriate photos or videos to somebody else. And so sexting, is an issue, so much so that they kind of made or revised the law, right? So there's always been a law against possession of child pornography, but they actually changed the law slightly, which I'm going to go over now. So the law is possessing or transmitting child pornography by a minor, right? So sexting usually works when let's say I take a picture of myself that's inappropriate, a sexually inappropriate picture of myself, and I'm under 18, right? So I'm a minor. So I take the picture of myself, and then I send it to somebody else. This could be a significant other, it could be just someone I'm interested in, a friend, whoever. I'm taking a picture that's inappropriate, I'm sending it to somebody else. That is inherently illegal per this statute, right? Because even though it's a picture of me, and I'm doing it consensually, because I'm a minor, I cannot legally take a sexually inappropriate photo of myself and send it to another person, right? Because I'm a minor, that is illegal for me to do. If I was over 18 or 18 or over, that it wouldn't be, but because I'm a minor, it is. So there's two parts to this law. The first part is in regard to the sender of the inappropriate photo or video. So if I'm under 16, and I'm sorry, I misspoke. I said under 18. It's actually under 16 because 16 is the age of consent in Connecticut. So if I'm under 16 and I take a photo or video of myself that's sexually inappropriate and I send it via text or messenger or some other electronic way to someone who's under 18, that is sexting, that is possessing or transmitting child pornography by a minor, and I can be legally charged with that. It is a misdemeanor crime, but a crime nonetheless. And then on the part of the recipient, if I'm under 18 and someone who is under 16 sends me a sexually inappropriate photo or video by means of electronic communication, that is also illegal, right? So I can get in trouble for being the sender of the inappropriate photo or video or the recipient. And again, those ages have to be, they're very important. It has to be the sender is under 16 and the recipient is under 18. And then on the other side of it, the recipient side has to be under 18. And again, the sender has to be under 16. So this is something that we go over with the high school students. Make sure it's very clear that even if you're doing it consensually, and it's only a picture of yourself, still not legal to do. So one question I often get from the high school students is on the recipient part. They say, well, wait a second, what if somebody just sends me a sexually inappropriate photo of themselves, but I didn't want that photo? I didn't ask for it, they just randomly sent it to me. What do I do? Am I gonna get in trouble for receiving the photo? And I'll always tell them, no, as long as you report it, right, you're not going to get in trouble for receiving a photo you didn't want or ask for. The recipient part more has to do with if I ask somebody for the photo and then they send it to me, right? So if you just randomly, you're talking to somebody and they randomly send you a picture you didn't ask for or want, and it's sexually inappropriate, just report it to your parents, report it to the police, report it to somebody at school, and you're not going to get in any kind of trouble for that, right? The recipient part would only be if you get the photo that you had asked for, or trying to pressure somebody to sending or things of that nature. So that's the sexting statute. Similar to that is this statute called dissemination of an intimate image. It's a Class A misdemeanor. And so this doesn't just apply to minors, this applies to everyone, even adults. But basically, if someone sends you a photo of themselves or a video and it's sexually explicit, and then you go and without their permission share that photo or video with other people, then and that person suffers harm as a result, which could be embarrassment or emotional trauma or something like that, then that is illegal, right? So let's say that someone sends me a photo, right? I'm dating somebody, because this is usually how it works. It usually works that two people are dating, and they're sending inappropriate photos back and forth, and then they break up, right? And then one or both of the people who are in the relationship say, okay, because I'm mad at you now, and because we're not dating, and because we're broken up, I want to get revenge on you, I want to get back at you, I'm going to send this nude photo that you sent me, right, a couple weeks ago, I'm going to send it to everybody I know. I'm going to post it, everyone's going to see it, right? So that's usually kind of how it works, is people are in a relationship, they're sending those photos back and forth, they break up, and now one or both people start sharing the photos because they're mad at the other person. So this is, obviously, that's an issue. It's illegal, and that's why we have the law. And again, this does not just apply to kids or minors. This applies to every person, adults too. And so it's sometimes referred to as the revenge porn statute, because again, it's people usually share those photos and videos for revenge or to get back at the other person because they're upset with them, because they've broken up or whatever the reason is. And one thing I just want to clarify is this dissemination does not need to just be sending or posting. It could just be showing. So if someone sends me an inappropriate photo of themselves, and now it's on my phone, and I'm showing it physically on my phone, I'm not sending it, I'm not posting it, but I'm just physically showing it on my phone to other people, that is also illegal. That would be included under the dissemination of the intimate image. So something to be aware of. Couple examples here. Is this illegal? So based on the sexting statute that we talked about, if a 14-year-old girl texted a picture of herself in her bathing suit to her 16-year-old boyfriend, would that be illegal? And so I asked the high school students and the middle school students this, and the answer is no, that would not be illegal, right? Because it's not a girl, even though she is 14 and the boyfriend is 16, it's not a sexually inappropriate photo. A girl in a bathing suit is not inherently sexually inappropriate, so this would not be illegal. But if we go to the 14-year-old girl who sends a fully naked snap of herself, right, snap is short for Snapchat, so a fully naked photo of herself on Snapchat to her 16-year-old boyfriend, then that would be illegal because, again, you have the ages, the sender, right? If she's 14, that means the sender's under 16, the recipient's under 18, and it is a fully nude, sexually inappropriate photo, so that would be illegal. And that would be under, again, the sexting statute. And kids do get in trouble for this. These are just a couple of news articles from local, right, Monroe, Newtown. These are several years old now, but still, kids do get in trouble for sexting. They get in trouble for sharing those inappropriate photos of other people. So it is something to be aware of. We're going to move on now to what's called sextortion. So this is, if you know what extortion is, right, it's kind of like, right, that word, usually extortion is when you're using some kind of threat to get money or information from somebody. So sextortion is kind of like that, and this is how it basically works is someone messages you, right? You get a message like, say, I'm on Instagram, and somebody messages me randomly and says, hey, I'm interested in you, like, let's talk. And so I start talking to this person, and they say, hey, I want to, get a little bit more comfortable with you, or I like you. Can you send me some photos of yourself, some inappropriate photos of yourself? So let's say I take those photos and I send them, and now the person says, okay, now I want you to send me $500 on Zelle or Cash App, and if you don't, then I'm going to share these inappropriate photos with everybody I know or everybody you know. I'm going to post them. I'm going to share them with all your contacts, all your Instagram followers, everyone, your friends, your family. Everyone's going to see these photos unless you send me this money. And of course, no one wants their friends and family to be seeing sexually inappropriate nude photos of them. So a lot of times they will send the money, and then the person a lot of times will ask for more money. And it just kind of, at some point, it gets reported to the police. So we deal with this, or we get reports of this, not just from kids, but also from adults as well. So this is a really important for kids and adults. You should not be sending any inappropriate photos of yourself to anyone you don't know. Really, I could say to anyone, but I realize that if adults want to do that, they have a significant other they want to send inappropriate photos to, that is up to them. But you certainly should not be sending inappropriate photos of yourself to people you do not know online, right? People who just contact you and you're not sure of their actual identity, because this is what happens now, right? Those photos get sent, and right, maybe the person promises, hey, if you send photos, I'll send photos back, and they seem like they're interested in you or want to be in a relationship with you or whatever it may be. So you get comfortable, you send the photos, and now they're threatening you, basically saying, if you don't send me money, everyone's going to see these photos of you. So, something to be aware of. Don't accept friend requests or messages from people you don't know online. That's a pretty obvious one. And avoid sending those sexual photos in the first place. Because if you don't send any photos or videos out, you don't have to worry about anyone sharing them or posting them, because they're not out there to begin with, right? And like I said earlier, once you send something out there, it's really, really difficult to get it back. So once it's out there, you can assume that everyone's going to see it, including your friends and family members. So this is something that people do come into the police department and report to us. Again, not only kids, but also adults. So something to be aware of. Make sure you're not sending those photos, those videos in the first place, and you'll never have to worry about this. And like I've said before, don't send photos that you wouldn't want your mom to see or your grandmother to see. Couple other things. These are tips for adults too, as well as high school students. But I talked to the high school students about this because they're at the age where they're getting their license or have just gotten their license, right? So people get their license, kids get their license, and they're super excited, and now they take a selfie of themselves holding their license, and then they post it on social media. And I say, well, wait a second, what about all the personal information that's on your license, right? Your birthday, your name, your birthday, your address, eye color, height, right? Your license number. In one example, it looks like the girl drew a line across her license number, but you still have all that other information on there that's personal and that you don't necessarily want everyone on social media to have, right? So it's great to be excited about getting your license, but there's no need to be posting a picture of you holding your license and putting it up on social media for everybody to see, because now you're giving out a lot of personal information. It's just really not necessary to do. Something similar would be college acceptance letters. Again, the high school kids are applying to colleges, right? Maybe there's seniors applying and they're getting accepted and they're super excited. They want to let everybody know where they're going, and so they post a picture of their college acceptance letter or email on social media. Again, it has their name, their address, where they're going to be going to school, possibly other personal information about them. And you might say, oh, well, it's just my name and address and where I'm going to college. That's not a lot of information. And you're right, or they may be right, it's not a whole lot of information, but it's just another piece of information that you're now putting out there, right? And if I'm a criminal who wants to scam you or, steal your identity, it's one more piece of information that I can find on the internet or on social media, and then with other sources, websites, social media platforms, I can probably find a lot more information and put all those pieces together, and now pretty soon I have a pretty good idea of who you are, right? So this is just something that, again, it's great to be excited about getting accepted to college. Probably not necessary to post your college acceptance letter on social media for everybody to see. And then kind of to end here, a lot of times we talk to kids, or we do talk to kids about posting things that, whether it's a video or a photo, and thinking, hey, what's in the background of that photo or video? How much information are you giving away, right? So if I'm taking a TikTok video or just taking a selfie, and I'm in my bedroom, and even though I'm not holding up my license or my college acceptance letter, maybe there's a poster in the background that says Guilford High School, right? And I'm wearing a Guilford Grizzlies t-shirt, right? And there's other information in the background that shows where I live or where I go to school. Again, that's just more information that you're putting out there for other people to see. So always be aware of what's in the background of your videos, right? If you're taking a video in the front yard of your house, where your house is in the background, can you see the house number? Can you see the street sign, right? Do people know exactly where I am? I know we have geotagging, right? We could just tag our locations whenever we post a video or a photo, which I wouldn't recommend. But also, even if we're not, we can still give away a lot of information just by what is in the background of our photo or video. And so one example of that is, I'm not going to show any videos here today, but there's this guy named Jose Monkey. He's a YouTuber, so that's his YouTube name. And I would highly recommend watching some of his videos. They're really, really cool. So essentially what Jose Monkey does is he tells people to send him short video clips of where they are, right? So for example, I might be standing outside a gas station and I have my phone and I take a video of my surroundings. Maybe I'm in the video, maybe not. But it shows my surroundings, right? And then it could be only 8 or 10 seconds long. I send the video to Jose Monkey and I say, Jose Monkey, I have permission for you to try to find me. And now he uses, just by looking at the background of the video, he uses street signs, business names, business signs, landscaping, trees, road designs, bridges, all these different things that you'll see in the background of the video that maybe most people wouldn't notice. He can look at those, and then he uses Google Maps or Google Earth in order to, and just the internet, to try and find out, and usually does find out where that person is located, and I mean the exact location where the person took the video. So very, very cool, interesting. It's harder to explain, it doesn't sound as cool, but if you watch the videos, so just type in Jose Monkey on YouTube and watch any of his videos. There are tons of episodes that you can look at. But people send him these videos, and then he's able to find them, and he videotapes the process he goes through in order to locate people. And it's actually pretty amazing because he doesn't have to travel anywhere. He literally just does this from behind his computer screen. And again, he's not using any special sources that everyone else doesn't have access to. He's using Google Maps, Google Earth, and the internet. That's essentially it. Googling things, Google Images. So essentially just Google to be able to find where somebody's located. So very, very cool, and just really drives home the idea of what's in the back of your video, the background of your video is very, very important, and you don't want to be giving away extra personal information that you don't need to. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. This is my contact information. If you have any questions whatsoever about social media or anything else related to law enforcement or the schools that I can help out with or answer questions for you, my number at the police department, 203-453-8061. You can call that and ask for me, or my email, gingrass@guilfordct.gov. So feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.